Hello there.
It's been a while. How are you? Are the wife and kids doing well? With Summer Games Fest 2023 just ending, I figured it was as good a time as any to make another video. The grand reveal at the end was what we were all hoping it had been, news on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And in my humble opinion, this second trailer gave us a little bit of everything. We saw some gameplay, got some story beats, and we got a release window, although an official date is still elusive. Now, as we dive into all of this, let's first take a look at what Square Enix themselves has said about the trailer in their blog post. In the post, they describe Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as, quote, a completely standalone game that takes Cloud, Tifa, Barret, Aerith out of Midgard and into the wider world. The team embarks on a globe-spanning adventure in pursuit of Sephiroth, a vengeful swordsman long thought to be dead. The wording of a completely standalone game is interesting to me. It does line up with the PR teasers they've been posting in the past week, particularly the one that said you wouldn't have had to play Remake in order to play Rebirth. Even producer Yoshinori Kitase explanation, he mentions players can enjoy this story even without any familiarity with the previous title or the original Final Fantasy VII. Again, I'm sure this is just PR talk, making sure not to alienate potential new players and consumers, though it does make me curious as to what the story beats will be and how much has changed not just from the original game, but since the last time we saw our heroes. As you'll remember, we defeated, I forget their name, but the ghosts that were making sure the story stayed close to the original at the end of the game. So there's really no telling, or there's no limit on what could be changed in the story. The mention of a globe-spanning adventure also strikes me, as they keep kind of hinting at the idea of a more open world, which I'll talk about more in a moment. So getting into more of what we were given in the trailer, the main story element we received was that it's been 5 years since the end of the last game. In terms of gameplay, we were confirmed that Red 13 will be fully controllable and that Yuffie is joining the party at some point as well. The blog post also refers to massive scale boss fights, and we see the team traversing the open world on the backs of chocobos. It seems like there will be at least one massive open world area, and then we'll have our home base area and also separate dungeons as well. I am curious as to just how open it will be. I don't personally need a huge open world game, just from Final Fantasy 15 and in general games in the last 10 years. I don't need a huge open world just for the sake of it, but if the way they're presenting it as just one big open area that's not, where everything has to take place, I do like that idea, and it looks beautiful just from what we've seen in the trailer. Another gameplay confirmation we got was that the synergy system from Intergrade, specifically introduced in the Intermission DLC, is going to be used in Rebirth, and it looks fantastic. Some of the character combos and team-ups look amazing. It definitely gave me Persona 5 Royal vibes. Depending on the available party and team members, I think gameplay-wise, this is going to be a huge element that adds fun and replayability, especially if we're taking on massive scale boss fights like they said. Lastly, at the end of the trailer, we got a release window, early 2024. Now, personally, I consider early 2024 to be anywhere from January to April, but May could also be thrown in there. I think not nailing down to a specific date is good, especially with how AAA titles get delays these days. But I also think even giving a window for release is something that the team at Square wants to take their time with. So I don't think we have to be completely skeptical that it won't make that early 2024 date. So while a 2023 release being off the table is disappointing, I would much rather them take their time with this game and get it right. But I do think there is a practical reason for this as well. Also revealed along with the date was that the game will ship on 2 discs. Now, I think this serves 2 purposes. One, I do think it's just a fun callback to the original Final Fantasy VII being on multiple discs, especially since digital sales are such a huge part of gaming nowadays. Personally, I don't know many people who even buy physical copies unless it's a collector's edition or something. So I do think it's just a little nice nod to that. But I do think it also goes to show how massive this game is going to be. With the game being on next gen or current gen, however you want to refer to it, exclusive on the PS5, they can really push the limits, and it seems like they fully intend on doing that. Now, while this trailer gave us pretty much a little bit of everything, I was just a little bit disappointed we didn't get any hints of if Zach Fair would be appearing. It's mainly just, something I'm sure myself and other Zach fans would be disappointed in, but it is just the first trailer. Well, first full trailer, I'll call it. But this trailer did give us a lot to salivate and speculate over. So what do you guys think? Are you excited, confused, any other emotions, all of the above? Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and have a good one.